GLS is the largest SUV in the Mercedes lineup, and for 2024 it gets a slight refresh on the outside, underneath the hood, and on the interior. And today I'm back here at Mercedes Benz of Bonita Springs, and we'll take in a complete tour of this brand new 2024 GLS 580. Now we're going to start right up front, checking out the new design of it, pop the hood, and talk a little bit about the improvements there, walk around it, and talk about the new technology and features. And at the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin. So if you like videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, consider subscribing, and now let's get back to this. So right away, when you take a first look at this brand new 2024 GLS, you'll notice this brand new front end, and then it includes the grille, the headlights. Well, let's take a quick look in detail on it. So you can look at the brand new multi-beam LED headlights. They have all brand new interior. They're active headlights, so I'll show you that once I take this vehicle into the garage to see how they dance around and move. It's pretty cool. Right underneath here you have this active air intakes, looks very nice. And then at the bottom portion you see a lot of open spaces right below the regular grille. You have this mesh space that allows the air to go inside of it, and of course this brand new grille that's a little bit larger, also a different design. Now you have this vertical bars going across it, and this GL 580 has this huge Mercedes star right in the middle, now behind which a lot of the safety components hide. Below that you also have the front view camera. Now the safety components are behind here, as well as if you look right on top of the windshield behind the rear view mirror, there's some cameras over there as well. Now if you look at the hood, nicely sculpted, you have the Mercedes star right on top of it. Well, let's pop the hood and let's see what powers up this 580. And it opens nice and tall, and right underneath the hood you'll find a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 engine, which is basically the same as what we had in 2023 model year, but now it produces more horsepower. It also has more torque. So the horsepower is up to 510 and torque is up to 538. That's over 27 horsepower increase over the last generation. Now they're still made it to the 9G-tronic transmission, and on the previous generation the GLS 580 could go 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. So can we see under 5 seconds 0 to 60 on this one? Probably, but I haven't seen it tested yet, so I can't tell you the real numbers. Now if you look on the bottom of the hood, you have some sound insulation, you have the double latches, and of course it's held up nicely by hood struts on both sides. Now one thing to mention too, even if you opt in for the GLS 450, now it produces 375 horsepower. So also the inline 6, the 3-liter inline 6 that's in the 450 also has a boost on it, so that's important to mention as well. And this is a really nice and big vehicle. I can't wait to take it for a spin at the end of this video. Now let's move around the corner to take a look at this side profile of this GLS 580. I gotta tell you, that has not changed a bit. It's still nice, classic Mercedes-Benz. I like this body style. Now it's important to mention that it could be either 6 or 7 passenger if you decide to opt in for the captain chairs in the middle seats, but we'll get to the interior in just a little bit. But let's take a look at what's going on the design side here. So first of all, let's take a look at the wheel and tires. Now this one has the multi-spoke 22-inch AMG rims. At 285/45 is the size of the tire right here in the front. Also in the back you can see those huge rotors and calipers, and this vehicle is also equipped with the air ride suspension, so it can be adjusted as far as the ride height of this vehicle. And surprisingly, this is very capable off-road. Now I've done some testing when I worked for Mercedes Benz dealership, and they took us over to Alabama to take us on the off-road trail, and I couldn't believe what those vehicles can do. I thought they were just meant for the urban jungle, and probably about 99% of people, the biggest obstacle that it's going to meet is the curb at their kids' school. But if you need to take it off-road, it's definitely very capable. The rest of the design, of course, is nice and polished. It has some extending flares around the wheel wells. Now they're the same color as the rest of the vehicle, and they're more pronounced towards the back than the front. Now you also have the side steps. They're fixed side steps on at the bottom, and then you have the cameras in the mirror, turn signal in the mirror, as well as the blind spot assist. Surroundings of the windows is all in the satin chrome, and you also have this huge roof rails up on top, and then of course you need some crossbars to make them functional. Let's see the rear size of the tire. We have 325, so these are staggered tires. They're much wider in the back than they are in the front. And now it's time to move around the corner and see what's going on in the backside right here. So on the first glance it looks identical to the 2023 model year, but if you take a closer look at the taillights, you'll notice that they have been redesigned on the inside as well. So it has the brand new taillights. Now on the right hand side you have the 4MATIC, middle you have the Mercedes Star GLS 580, right on top you have the third brake light and exposed wiper. Now the camera is actually hidden right underneath here, so that opens up to reveal the camera, so it keeps it nice and clean from the elements. And one other thing that I want to mention, that these exhaust tips are actually real. You can see the real exhaust behind them, so this is not just a fake element. It also is equipped with a tow hitch, and Mercedes is very strangely specific as far as the tow capacity at 7,716 pounds. And you have this chrome trim piece right here. Now let's pop this gate open, and let's see as far as the cargo space. So we have all 3 rows of seats up. So behind here you have about 17.4 cubic feet of space. Not the largest one, you know, comparing to some of the bigger SUV or even some of the mid-size SUVs that are coming out right now, but it's a decent amount of cargo space. Now underneath this floor you have a extra spare tire. You also have a compressor here to inflate your tires if you needed to. And what we have here is we have a few buttons on the right hand side, and one button is to lower or raise this vehicle in case you're putting in a cargo inside and it's just too high, and this is to lower or raise the third row seats, and this is to lower and raise the second row seats. Now unfortunately I don't see any override on it, so in case that breaks you're kind of SOL. Now there's a cargo cover here that is removable, and we can take this out and I can show you of how all the seats can be folded down by pressing one button on this. So I just press this all button right here, and as you can see all of the seats folded down. Now with all the seats folded down you have about 84.7 cubic feet of storage space, so that's quite a bit. Then definitely you can start putting some large TVs in here, or maybe even a refrigerator. So while we have this up, let's see what's going on for the third row passengers. So you can see that there is a cup holder there. There's the 2 USB Type-C ports, and it looks like you can adjust your recliner as well as a third row passenger. There's also a space to put the cargo cover from here to here, I believe. You can just take this out and move it if you're only using 2 rows of seats. There's speakers, there's some lighting up there, and there's also vents for the third row passengers. Now I will get in the third row seat to test it out to see how big it is, but before we do that, let's check out the rest of this interior. Let's get these doors open. By the way, if I haven't mentioned the name of the color, it is Twilight Blue on the exterior and Catalania Beige on the interior. So this is what's going on right here on this door panel. You can your seat adjustments for the outdoor seats. Right here you have the heated seat options, again for the rear seats, Burmeister stereo. I like this piano trim. Now this was only available on the MBUX before. Now it's also available on the regular GLSs, which is really nice. This is nice and softly padded for the passengers to put their arms down here, and then this is also nice and soft. So everything with the exception of the very bottom portion is nicely softly padded. Now the Mercedes Benz on the door sill lights up as well, and here are your seats for the second row passengers. Before I jump inside, let's take a look and let's see what's going on. So you have your controls for the rear AC basically right here. You also have your two USB Type-C ports at the bottom and two vents on top, and I like the backs of the seats, looking really sharp, really classy. Now we also have some seat back storage down underneath here, and it looks like the speakers are built in the seats as well. So there's vents on the sides as well, in addition to the center vents to help you feel more comfortable in this large SUV. Now let me jump inside and see if I can actually fit behind me. So this is what we have. This is what's going on with this second row seat all the way back. Now I can easily adjust it by probably another 2-3 inches and still be able to fit comfortably behind me sitting in the front seat. Now I'm 6 feet tall. I definitely feel like I have plenty of legroom, definitely enough headroom, and definitely enough shoulder room. So let's see what's going on in the third row seat. Well, how do we get in the third row seat? Well, let's check this out. There is a button right here. Now let's see what's going on if I touch it. Anything? Nothing? Maybe? No? Not really. So maybe you can't get into the third row seat. What about if I just try to push it down? There you go. Somehow it started working. All right, so this seat is doing its dance, and unfortunately it takes a while for it to complete it. Now when it does, you know, it opens up as such, and now you have access to the third row seat. And let's get in here, see what's going on. Well, first things first, if you don't move these headrests up right away, you're gonna have it in your back. So let's move it up, okay? And let's see, how do I get him to go down? Pull him? No, that doesn't work. Manually try to adjust them? No, that doesn't work. So I have to use this button right here, and I pushed it, and again, nothing works. I'm really not a big fan of all of this electronics controlling this seat, especially when you're in a hurry, you're dropping somebody off. You just want to fold the seats and go. And I understand I might be pushing the button one too many times, but come on. Really? All right, something happened and it stopped. Do I have to hold it? All right, I'm holding it. That would be kind of stupid. I'm sorry to say that, but if I had to fold it, all right. Okay, so now I'm in the third row seat and I fit, but like I mentioned before, I can easily move this seat a few inches forward and still have enough room. So that would be so bad. Now you have your own vents, which I wish the AC was working right now because I am boiling in here. And here's as far as the headroom. I have, well, probably have about 1.5 inches above my head. Again, I'm 6 feet tall. Can I recline this seat a bit? Or this is for the front seat? Well, can't seem like anything is reclining here right now. All right, so this is for the front seat. There you go. See? Silly me. this is how you do it. You just press on this button, and then the seat goes forward. Now it still takes forever, so still, you know, Mercedes redeemed itself just a tiny little bit, but you know, I still would like to have some override on it, so you can basically pull on some kind of a lever, get it done, and move on with your life. And although I have no doubt that it would be great, let's hear how the door sounds. Boom, nice, super solid. And here's what's going on in the front door panel. So the same trim, of course, as in the back, in the same colors. You have the 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat, and you can also have the heating and ventilating option available for either the passenger or the driver's seat, and you can turn them off from here. So right here is the window mirror lock controls. You also have your gate release. And moving inside of here, you have the Mercedes Benz. Again, that's illuminated. And I like how the seats are profiled. They're really nice and comfortable. They're sporty, but they're not too sporty. And they're very, very comfortable too. And on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have the light controls, basically. The steering wheel is heated, and you have the tilt and telescoping. It's also a brand new steering wheel. But let me take it down to the garage where there's a little bit less light. I'll show you the rest of this interior. And we're on the interior of this GLS 580 2024. Let's check this out. Well, first of all, you know, the overall design of it, it's really nice, it's classy, it's very nicely done. So what I'm saying by that the details and attention to details is very good. Now you also have this piano black trim that goes from the doors across the entire dashboard right here. You have some vents that are incorporated and the kind of the rectangular shape. And underneath here, as you can see in most of the Mercedes vans, you have the illumination, right? So you have the ambient lighting. You can choose several different settings. It looks like this some kind of animation that's playing right now. As the lights change, they change from the lighter blue to the darker blue. So we're gonna check this out and see what's going on there. Now you have the dual 12.3-inch screen right here, and you have this brand new steering wheel. Now, just my opinion, I like the old steering wheel better. This one kind of looks a little strange, but anyway, so here's what we have. We have the big Mercedes star right here. Left hand side controls what's going on basically in the instrument cluster. Right hand side controls what's going on in the infotainment system. Of course, this one also has the dynamic cruise control settings, and this one has the volume, media, and favorite buttons on this side as well. Now behind here you have the pedal shifters. Those are actually pedal shifters. You can change the gears on them, and then of course you have the stalks for the turn signals and the windshield wipers on the left hand side, and that's where you change gears on pretty much any of the Mercedes Benz is on the right hand side. So let's see, really nice and bright screens, but we've seen this technology before in the Mercedes Benz. So let's see what's going on here. Hit the home button, and then we can scroll through different designs as far as the dashboard designs. But let's go to the classic one and let's see what we get here. So now this is the regular design. So on the right hand side you have a tachometer, speedometer on the left hand side. In the middle you also have the speed that's displayed, and right now it says that the vehicle's got 11 miles on it. So basically all the information that you want, you can customize and set it right inside of here. Now you can also have different settings if you go to the sub menu. So we have the different trip components, that you have the bonus miles from start. I don't know what that's going on. Consumption right now, attention assist, system suspended for some reason, and now we have the different radio stations that can be chosen from. So all that with literally a touch of a thumbnail right here. So this is navigation right inside of this classic instrument cluster. Looks really good. And here's your infotainment system. You can control it multiple different ways. You can control it from the steering wheel. You can control it by voice using the key phrase "Hey Mercedes," and then you can also control it through the trackpad. Now she woke up. Look at this. Hey sleepyhead. Hey Mercedes, turn off. There you go. So you have the home button right here, and this is where we're at right now. So we have the navigation, really nice and bright navigation system. You can also use, of course, your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which you can connect wirelessly to the system. A radio, so we have the FM and AM Sirius XM radios. Those are the ones that are available. And then go back to the home screen. There's your media, apps. Here's what we have as far as apps. Mercedes Me, that's just your subscription service. Browser, license info, and gallery. I'll turn that off. We go to the comfort settings. Okay, and this is where your massage seats, like this one has the classic massage right now that's playing on the driver's seat. And we can do it for the intensive or passenger side, however you want it. And you can turn it off, turn it on, and you have the different massages that are available. So the car can give you a back massage, hot relaxing back massage while driving. So as far as the seat controls, you have the seat kinetics, lumbar, side bolsters, everything is adjustable to your liking, and you can definitely customize it. And of course we have the ambient lighting, which right now it's an ocean blue multicolor display, and then we can choose one of the 64 colors. If you go for the monochrome, well, let's change it to a little bit something different. Well, maybe not pink, but how about burning blue? It's kind of blue yellowish color, kind of pretty cool looking. All right, well, let's go back here. Let's see what else we have as far as the settings. So off-road, as I mentioned before, this is a really capable off-road vehicle, and you have several screens to help you out with this. So first of all, if you go to your cockpit right here, you have the angles of the steering wheel, as you can see on the right and the left hand side. And then you also have the direction which the vehicle is going to, and for some reason I thought there was an elevation, but there's no way we're on the third floor in the parking garage and 46 feet below sea level. So you can also turn off the downhill assist manual mode. You can turn on or off the traction control, parking sensors. You can turn on the camera if you'd like to, and it has this transparent hood. So here's what's happening with this. This is actually an interesting one, because if I put it in reverse right now, and we're gonna move this vehicle back out of this parking spot, right? So we're gonna go back just a little bit here, and then I'm gonna go a little bit forward with this camera right here. Let's turn this on, and then as we move, this camera is going to project the image that's actually underneath this vehicle. So see how transparent it gets, and then you see what's underneath it. So if you're doing any kind of boulder crawling, which probably not really recommended, especially with these tires on it, but anyway, if you're going anywhere off-road, it's nice to see what's actually underneath the vehicle. So this is what this camera is for. And turn that off. Here's your information system as far as the consumption vehicle, you know. So here's your accelerator, brake. You know, I don't have my foot on the brake, so I guess that's the electronic parking brake that's engaged right now. But if I hit the accelerator, you can see that's changing, and of course you have your pitch and roll right here. And as far as the engine, you can see you know, the torque and power that it produces right now. You also have the temperatures for the gears, temperature for the coolant. So this is the important info. Settings for the vehicle, plenty of it as far as the driving, collision avoidance, assistance, camera, etc. So, you know, vehicle settings, you know, as far as the driving, you have the manual shifting. You can turn that on if you'd like to, turn that off. Automatic gas station search, you can turn that on, and basically what's going to happen is if you are actually low on fuel, it's going to start searching for the nearest gas station. Trailer type, if you're towing something, you can definitely specify trailer type, and then going to I guess tell you how many miles per hour you can drive with this. So let's see, if we have a camper, You know, it says 50 miles an hour. Well, maybe I'm not doing it right. Anyways, car wash mode. This is pretty cool because the vehicle is equipped with so many different sensors that if you go to the car wash, it probably would turn on the windshield wipers. All the sensors would be going off because the brushes would be too close. So basically all of that is eliminated by going into the car wash mode. So vehicle is raised, mirrors folded in, windows and roof closed, Parktronic off, rain sensors off, and rear wiper off. Let's go back out of here, go to the lighting system. So your headlamps right now, daytime running lights are on, nothing else in here. Interior, exterior lighting and ambient lighting system information. You know, back to the home screen right here. Let's go to the next screen. This is your smartphone, so you can connect your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. A lot more features available on this MBUX. It'll take, you know, hours to go through all of them. But scrolling down in here, of course, you have your events, and then you have your shortcuts for your climate control. You also have your trackpad to control of what I just did with the touch screen. You can control it through the trackpad. You have the dynamic mode selector, and let's see what driving modes we have in this vehicle right now. So you have the individual, sport, comfort, and off-road mode. So and that adjusts the height of the vehicle, and you know, different settings on here as well. So I'm gonna leave it in sport right now, so it's gonna stop raising. We really don't need this vehicle raised up or anything like this. And then you can open this up. You have the heated and cooled cup holders, as well as the wireless charging and 2 USB type C ports in here. A lot of shortcuts, if you ask me, as far as going around this trackpad right here. And by the way, this is pretty cool because if you ever get lost, there's your back button, there's your home button, so you just click that, it's going to take you to the home screen. But anyways, here's your camera settings, and take a look at this just a second. Here's your vehicle settings, favorite settings, map, navi, radio, media, telephone, and this is your power and volume knob right here, and a nice palm rest, and this is what controls the vehicle height. So once I have this camera setting turned on, let's take a quick look. Ooh, my camera is going crazy with this. All right, let's go. Settle in. So this is your camera settings right here, and you have the different angles, as you can see on the right hand side. You can control, you know, this is your front view camera, and see how cool the lights look. Well, they're not flickering. This is just a different camera frame rate. You have the rear view camera, you have the side cameras on both sides, you have the auto camera. Move this thing around the way you want it. Then you have the hitch camera, and that's pretty much it. So this is all the settings that we have. Now, I told you it's got this adaptive lighting system. Let me see if I can turn this vehicle off for a second and turn it back on, so you can see how those lights go on, and that will take it for a spin. Oh, one more thing before we do that. Let's take a quick look right here on this top console, and you have the regular lights. Those are all LEDs. Nice and bright. You have the Mercedes Me SOS button, and we can also open up this huge panoramic sunroof. This big panel right here opens up, and this is above the first 2 seats right here, all the way there. So it creates a lot of light inside of this cabin. And of course, you can open this up if you wanted to. We're going to close that up, turn this vehicle off for just a second, turn it back on, and then I'm going to take you for a spin. Alright, so the lights are off. Oh, by the way, can you hear all this noise that's coming in from the outside? Okay, and then close it up. Boom, library. What's happening? Well, first of all, do not leave people or animals in the vehicle. Great suggestion. Let's start it up. Let's take a look at the lights. They're leveling off. Boom, left, right. Vehicle raised up slightly, and we're back in business. Now, this is the interior of it. Let's see how it drives. So before we take it for a spin, let's touch on the pricing of this vehicle. So the GLS 580 starts at $112,000, so significantly more expensive than the GLS 450, which is at about $82,000 for the base trim level, but it comes standard with a lot more features. Now this particular one is equipped with several different options, so it tops off at $118,730, that including the destination charge. And one of the things that I want to bring it up to you that it's equipped with is the acoustic comfort package. So if you like that library quiet interior, that acoustic comfort package, it's kind of like your sound dampening headphones, sound eliminating headphones that you put in there, that makes it feel like it's really nice and quiet inside of here. Well, you know, I'm really excited to take this 510 horsepower on the road. So I'm pretty sure that most of you know that the GLS is a continuation of the GL Mercedes, and the Mercedes started that in 2006 at a certain year, and I forgot whether it was 2013 or 2015. They actually started rebadging all of the SUVs from ML to the GLE, from GL to the GLS, and the reason behind it is they wanted to stress that certain SUVs are based on the platforms of their sedan counterparts. So let's say the GLA was based on the A series Mercedes platform, the GLB on the B series, C, E, and S is based on the S platform. So it is truly a flagship SUV. It definitely looks it, it definitely feels it, and you know, for the short time that I had with it, it drives absolutely great. So we're here in this parking lot where I do, you know, pretty much all of the Mercedes Benz turning radius, and I'm gonna see if we can turn this 205 inches long SUV around in here. So steering wheel all the way to the left, 1, 2, 3 and a half, 4 and a half parking spots. Definitely, this is not a small SUV by any means. Now, this is not as large as some of the Cadillac Escalades or Lincoln Navigators or the Grand Wagoneer, especially the extended versions. This is probably about 20 inches shorter than that, at 205 inches. But it's definitely large, and what I like about it, it's the maneuverability. I actually had to take this out a really tight parking spot in the garage, and I was like, there's no way we're gonna be able to make it, and I was able to take it out. Yeah, it took me a few tries here and there. I didn't want to film it, but yeah, it's definitely that good. So do I have it in the sport mode? Yep, it's in the sport mode right now. The last generation, 2023, had about 483 horsepower, 510 on this one. The other one was rated at 5.2 seconds, 0 to 60. This one is probably quicker than that. Not that anybody would really take a family SUV and tries to race it, but in case you wanted to, well, you probably have the opportunity there. Well, this is an open stretch of road. Let's use it. Whoa. And we're at 65 miles an hour, just like that. There's no effort, almost, like you don't feel this engine struggling, anything like this. The transmission, the 9G-tronic transmission, is right on point. I love how crisp the gear shifts are on this vehicle, and it's so quiet with this acoustic comfort package that, you know, you can barely hear that this engine is running. I'm gonna turn off the radio here because I was like, whoa, what's that noise? But the radio for some reason turned on, and here we go. Just enjoy that nice, quiet, and smooth ride. Now, the air suspension is amazing. Now, in the sport settings, it's supposed to be a little bit stiffer than in the comfort mode. So let's see how the comfort mode is going to do. Now, also the off-road mode. This is the regular off-road mode, but this vehicle can also be equipped with the engineered off-road equipment on this, which includes like a large skid plate underneath this vehicle, some modifications, better modifications to basically the suspension, but you know, without it, if you get stuck in the snow, you should have no problem getting out of it. If you need to go over a larger obstacle, definitely there is a right control, give you that extra ground clearance that you might need. And of course, like if you do cross over the curb at your kid's school, you should be able to survive that as well. So this is what the GLS is all about. I will take this vehicle and go back to the dealership because they do have someone who's waiting for it to test drive us. This is the other 580 that they have in stock. Now there's 450s that are available as well. I did test drive the 450 with the previous generation engine, not with that 20 horsepower more that it has on now, but I really wanted to feel how that 580 feels. This engine, this vehicle is so quiet, and this engine is so incredibly smooth. I'm so glad the Mercedes did not get rid of the V8 option on it. Now, yes, it's a lot more expensive than the GLS 450. We're talking about $30,000 difference. I don't know if I was looking for a GLS or a 7-passenger, you know, luxury vehicle. Well, let's think about it. Okay, so you can get the GLS 450. Great vehicle, inline 6, right now with 375 horsepower, and you can spend 30 grand basically on any option that you can think of. Add it to that vehicle and have the fully loaded one, probably for less than you can get the 580, this 580, or maybe even a standard 580, right? What is the competition? So we have the X7 and the M40i. Now I've done the X7 recently, 2023 model year. I like the way it drove. I wasn't crazy about the technology that came with the vehicle. I found it a little finicky, and the rear seat were working whenever they wanted to. Now this is kind of the same thing with here. So the more technology, the more problems with this vehicle. Hopefully this is not going to be the case with those. This feels definitely more luxurious than the BMW X7. I think the drive on the X7, now that was the inline 6 that I've driven, was a little bit sportier, or the feel of the vehicle was, but I don't know. This would be a toss-up, but I think my heart is with Mercedes, and I would choose Mercedes over BMW. But definitely, you know, what's the other competition? You have the Range Rover, and the large Range Rovers, you know, they start at about $110,000 and go up from there to 200. So I mean, it's a lot more expensive market. Then you have the domestic market with the Navigator, Escalade, and the Grand Wagoneer, and those are all well into hundreds once you equip them all the way to the end. So definitely Mercedes is not pricing itself out at $112,000. And if you're interested in getting one, this one is for sale right now at Mercedes Benz of Bonita Springs. So check out the link in the description of this video. I also provide you with a phone number, so if you are interested, give those guys a call and see if you can make a deal. And thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you that's watching, and every single one of you that decided to become part of Matt the Carguy family by hitting that subscribe button. So if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that red subscribe button, give me the like, and ring that bell, notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.